Difficulty ranges quite a bit in the Grand Theft Auto series. Some are pretty easy, but some aren't. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanx, 10 of the hardest Grand Theft Auto missions in the whole series. Coming in at number 10, Grand Theft Auto 5's Did Somebody Say Yoga? Most missions in Grand Theft Auto 5 aren't really that frustrating. They usually have checkpoints, they usually are pretty well designed. You don't ever really feel like you're in an endless loop in the game for the most part, but not this one. So what's so hard? What's the impossible challenge? Oh, it's yoga. You'd think it'd be a cakewalk, but no, you're wrong. What you end up having to do is move your thumbsticks to really awkward positions to kinda replicate whatever yoga move that Michael is doing. And 3 failures is a mission failure, which is really tedious. I mean, not as tedious as everything Michael's wife and the yoga instructor say during the course of the mission.
You are just a globule of sweat in the infinite depths of Ishvara's armpits.
Which is infinitely more tedious and unfortunately also part of the mission.
Fabian's body with your bank account would be the perfect man.
And it can be hard to just stay with overall.
Enough of that!
Moving on to number 9 is the Snowstorm from GTA 4. You know, the one where you fight through an abandoned hospital to get some cocaine. The gunfight is actually really fun. It's one of those gunfights that just, it works. GTA 4's gunplay isn't always great, but this is one of those examples where it just does exactly what it needs to do. But that's not really the frustrating part. There's only one bridge off Charge Island, and it's swarming with cops. Getting through the entire firefight only to just die in the escape to the city, it sucks. Like, bad. I mean, there is one thing you can do to avoid all of the hassle and nonsense, and that is to use the boat that's on some docks behind the hospital. Just totally changes how difficult the mission is. But I'm gonna be completely honest, I've definitely done it the hard way, just for fun. It gets totally wild, it's just insane. It took days. I'm not even joking. I'm not that great at the game, to be completely honest with you. Moving on to number 8, No Way on the Subway from Grand Theft Auto 4 is that one mission where you have to chase 2 guys on a motorcycle through the subway. Oh yeah, that one. Like, pretty much every chase mission in Grand Theft Auto 4 is not super easy, without getting too deep into that, but this one is really the mother of all of them. The tunnels are dark and windy, you take a wrong turn, you're basically screwed, and you basically probably will take a wrong turn somewhere, because the guys you're chasing move like they're having a seizure, like it's super jerky. And this is not a non-active subway tunnel, no. It is an active subway tunnel, one in which a train will constantly go through your mission, so indeed you will have to be dodging a lot of trains. Now that being said, this one isn't the kind of tough that isn't satisfying in the end. Like, it's actually really satisfying when you catch them. I remember specifically just like standing up and doing the whole like celebration dance thing. It looked really stupid, but you didn't see it, so I don't have anything to apologize for. Moving on to number 7, Wrong Side of the Tracks from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now let's just go ahead and say this right off, San Andreas had some humdingers of some missions. But this is one where I got to hear a million times, all we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
Oh, you get used to hearing that though, don't you?
Follow the damn train, CJ.
So this is actually a fairly early game mission where you have to gun down enemy gang members on a train with the help of Big Smoke. And the problem is that you're not the one shooting them. You can't just get better at shooting them. Big Smoke is shooting them. So basically you have to drive on a little dirt bike on some railroad tracks, and it's really annoying. It's annoying because you end up having to do it a lot because it's, well, I think the best way to say it would just be difficult to keep stable. It's bumpy, you can easily spin out, etc., etc. The worst part about it though is that Big Smoke barely even bothers shooting at them, while these enemy gang members are, well, just not holding back in the same seemingly deliberate way that Big Smoke is. Also, still active train tracks. Yep, trains that you gotta dodge in the mission.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
Moving on to number 6, Death Row from GTA Vice City, in which Lance Vance gets himself into a bit of trouble with the Colombian cartel. Never a good thing to get in trouble with, right? Well, he's at the city dump. You gotta drive all the way across the city, and remember, they did not have checkpoints in GTA Vice City. So if you make a mistake, you have to drive all the way back to that dump. You start at the nightclub, you go to the dump. It's a long drive. Also, you can't do it slowly and deliberately. You have to do it quickly because Lance Vance's health is slowly decreasing. Yeah, this is one of those ones where I consider the difficulty to be annoying because it seems like it's difficult just for the sake of being difficult rather than to present you with an interesting challenge. Oh yeah, we could just make it so that you have a certain amount of time before he dies and you have to do all of the driving again. I mean, that's just the worst. You have to hit the dump, clear out the shooters, which is not easy even on its own, get him to a nearby hospital, and the whole time you're being harassed by sports cars. Basically, it's an escort mission where before you even get to the escortee, they can die. Moving on to number 5, the Espresso to Go from Grand Theft Auto 3. This is the one where you have to go around the Liberty City that was present in that game, destroying Colombian spank dealers. Remember spank? Was basically a non-specific drug they cooked up in order to be able to use some sort of drugs in the game. The dealers posed as coffee sellers and you had a ridiculous time limit. They don't appear on the map till you actually see one, and you have to constantly restart the mission to figure out where they are and enter Mafia territory to find some of them, and at this point in the game, they just shoot you. Yeah, the Mafia is just like, we're not even bothering with this crap. Just take out the shotguns and shoot at you or your car or whatever. Coming in at number 4, Flight School from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, you cannot make a list like this without mentioning Flight School. So what's Flight School? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. You've got to train and prove your proficiency at flying, and it really is just like going to school, but worse. It's school in a video game. The first couple challenges aren't too bad, but the difficulty ratchets up pretty quick to ridiculous levels. They ask you to perform takeoffs and landings while flying through these tiny little ridiculous hoops with flight sim-like precision. And it's not even over after that. You have to start doing barrel rolls and loop-de-loops. And let's just mention that flight controls in much more modern versions of this game are still not nearly as good as, say, a game designed specifically for flying. This was back when GTA flight technology was brand new, and yes, I understand they were super stoked. They built new technology to have flying in Grand Theft Auto? Wow. Don't make it mandatory, come on. But they were so proud of it, they did make it mandatory, didn't they? Ever heard of the phrase, pride before the fall? Well, Rockstar was the proud ones, and we took the fall. Coming in at number 3, The Driver from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Now, as far as what it is, it's a simple one, but it's also one of the worst ones. All you really have to do is race. Doesn't sound so bad, does it? Well, it is if your opponent has a Sabre Turbo, which is one of the fastest cars in the game, might I add, and he has the entire Vice City Police Department on his side. There is no avoiding it. You are going to get attacked by the cops at some point during the race, and surviving is basically a matter of luck at sometimes. And oh, hey, forgot to mention this, but the game sticks you in a Sentinel, so you can't even start it with like a good car. There's really only 2 ways to win this one. The first is getting a faster car and parking it nearby so you can swap vehicles after the race starts. Or you can just drive completely perfectly, depend on sheer luck and assume you won't get T-boned by cops at any point, and cross your fingers that the AI makes a mistake. It's basically hard because it's not designed great, and you, like I said, basically have to hope the AI makes a mistake or, don't follow the criteria of the mission and leave a faster car for yourself. At number 2, it's SAM or SAM from Grand Theft Auto 3, which again sounds really easy. You just blow up a plane with a rocket launcher. How hard could it be? You actually have 2 options to take the plane out. Either blow it up from the tarmac, which is swarming with heavily armed goons, might I add, or you can blow it up mid-flight from a boat, which is, easier said than done. Game's not Metal Gear. Rocket's not going to home in on that plane on its own, so you basically get a single shot to hit a fast-moving target from a bouncing boat. And of course, if you do succeed in taking the plane out, you're immediately swarmed by a small army of Liberty City's finest. I mean, I get it, you're shooting a plane down with a rocket launcher, that's kind of their job, is to stop you, but if you've ever hit the plane and then died from the cops, it sucks. And finally at number 1 is Supply Lines from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Oh yeah, the RC plane one. The one everyone complains about. And I'm here to tell you, oh yes, it is as bad as everyone says. Here's how it works. You're supposed to use this RC plane to fly around and gun down 5 couriers around the city. Remember when we talked about the flight controls in this game? Still applies here, doesn't it? So these guys are not stationary, they're always moving, and your little RC plane is always running out of fuel, and quickly. It's basically a countdown timer, but worse, because you'll never know exactly how much time you got left. The first time you try this mission, you're not going to win. It's just that simple. If you won this first time, you're a freak. So you do the next 10 attempts to memorize the courier routes. But hey, guess what? That's not enough either. You destroy all the couriers. You also gotta land the RC plane back at Zero's store. All while David Cross is saying that line. The Curse You Berkeley line. You know. There's one saving grace though. You don't have to do this mission. So do like everybody who has some degree of self-respect and skip it. That's all for today. What are some Grand Theft Auto missions you had a ton of difficulty with? Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, please click like. And if you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at FalconHero. We'll see you next time, right here on GameRanx.